you recently wrote this. I'm holding it close just because I crop in on here.
No, not a problem at all. I'll just hold my copy as well, just to get yeah.
No, closer near your head. They can't see it. There we go. So when I'll start right at the start, because again, with marketing, you're always like, what do people want to hear? Talk about what's your audience interested in?
Yes.
And a lot of people are interested in one day writing their own book. So I'm going to ask you the question: at what point did you, get the edge or the idea to kind of go through the process?
I would love to say again that I sat for hours and I thought to myself, I'm going to write a book, and I had this lovely log cabin looking over this lake, and I said, basically, I got some work via an enterprise agency, and they said, you're our marketing coach. I said, great. What do you want me to teach? Where's the material? Oh, you're the coach. You go and do it. And the space over kind of 3 to 6 months, I actually just sat down and thought, right, and what am I going to teach businesses? What do they need to know about marketing? And literally went through a very basic, I suppose, a strategy background. Well, you need to know your aims and objectives, and you need to know who your customers are. And I suppose you need to know about your research, about your competitors. And that was literally how it is bit by bit. And I was sat with a good friend of mine, and she just said, you know what? She said, I think this would make a great book. Mm-hmm. And at the time I said, nah, I don't write. I'm not an author. She said, no, honestly, I think if we could really, go to town on this and create a book. And that's where the idea came from. And within the space of like 6 to 8 weeks, the book was born. And
was that Helen Shinner?
It is, yes. It is Helen, yes.
Only because
yes.
your name checker on the inside cover.
I did, yes. Oh, she was an absolute, tower of strength, yeah. And Gary Pickering, my designer, he brought it to life and did an absolute wonderful job on it.
So when did you, how long did it take start to finish?
Once the concept was there that it's going to be a book, it was then about, right, how do we break this down into bite-sized chunks? Mm-hmm. And that's where we create this kind of the 6 pillars, the 6 stages of creating your marketing master plan. And I was very conscious at the start for any business owner to question why they're in business, why does their business exist? So the first pillar is purpose, what's the purpose of your business? And then from that, you then look at, okay, that's where you look at your aims and objectives, why your business exists. Next stage is then intelligence. So what exists in your business already? Such as research, your network, all that kind of thing. And what do you need to know? That's where we look at our customer research, our competitor research. So third pillar, it was then about proposition, because I do think a lot of businesses don't really know what their proposition is when they go to market. Mm-hmm. What do you actually stand for? What you're telling people? Why should they buy from you? Then it was about tools. So yourself, there's a plethora of marketing tools out there across many disciplines. And I think a lot of businesses get lost in that kind of forest of different tools. The amount of times I've been to see business owners who say, well, I've got Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and Pinterest, and I've got 3 websites.
What you're doing with them. It's the classic thing. Does just having the profile means fuck all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And just kind of like overwhelm of all these platforms. And you ask, okay, well, that's great. What content are you putting on there? Well, I put Mabel's cake on there, and the office cat sits on there. And it's, oh my goodness. And just drowning in all this content. So for me, it was like, okay, we need to literally rank your top tools. And for me, it's usually 5 or 6 absolute max in most businesses, what you need to use. And then from that, it was how do we apply that into some kind of process, system, or funnel, as we used to in this industry. And so I showed, that's the 5th stage, how you create your conversion funnel. And then the final stage, really important, how we measure our efforts. Because if you're going to put money, effort, resource into creating your strategy, you want to know you're making something of it and you're getting some return on your investment. The beauty of digital technology is as well, because it's so kind of agile. If something isn't working, you can change it very quickly. Unlike if you're paid for, press advertising or a nice big billboard in town, but once it's up there, you can't take it out. With digital, we can change it very, very quickly. So hence the reason why, to me, measurement is so important.